Our next guest is a country artist. She lives right here in Nashville, and she has a new book out, and it is all about toxic relationships. Stephanie Quayle is the author of Why Do We Stay? And she talks about her own toxic relationships with an S. She is a source for relationship recovery. You have a book signing happening in Brentwood,
Yes.
Barnes & Noble Cool Springs, 3 o'clock
Yes.
tomorrow.
Wow.
We're glad to have you here, though.
Thank you. Thank
okay,
you.
Really opening up about your toxic relationships.
Yes.
You experienced 2 of them, and you were like, okay, I cannot be alone in this arena, and you're not.
Yeah. No, you feel like an island until you start sharing your story, and then you realize we're all going through so much. And I think we just, I didn't have the terms, I didn't have the knowledge base. I just thought I was the problem because he was sure I was.
Oh.
And then, as you learn and discover, it's just not the case.
Okay, so the book is titled Why Do We Stay?
Yes.
Let's talk about that title.
Yes. I think that's the question that I asked myself many a times, as my family did. From
Before
toxic
or
number
after?
one. Well, during.
Oh,
There's a whole lot of
okay.
questions during, but I think, again, when we're in it, in my case, I'd potentialized my relationship. The real terminology is romanticize, right? When you see it not for what it is.
No, but I think more people think of it as potentialized.
I do too.
Like we could potentially get to this level.
If I get better, this relationship will get better, versus really looking at what's in front of us. So what I love about the book is that you have this story which gives the, that kind of empathetic viewpoint, and then also Keith, who's an expert, saying, here are the terms, here are the words to identify what is actually going on. And that's my hope. We were just talking, offset about the young people that are dealing with these toxic relationships. They're like teenagers.
And they're dealing with it in a very remote way of like text.
Yes,
like, wow, okay, I haven't heard from someone this way.
Yes.
And sometimes they use the term of like, I might be in the roster. Like this man might have a roster
that might
of
be my
people.
next country song.
Right. Actually,
No, it's really something. And so my hope is if we can really just give tools and guides, and we learn through storytelling, right? So that's it's that little marriage of that.
Yeah, so I do love that. The book tells your story, which is heartbreaking in many ways, in many ways.
But I'm still here.
But she is still here,
which is
and she's going to expound on her story and the tools that can help serve so many people. The book signing is happening at the Barnes & Noble in Cool Springs, right there in Brentwood. It's happening at 3 o'clock tomorrow. You've got a special host.
Yes.
Extra correspondent will be there, Alicia Davis, kind of leading it on. So it's going to be a real event.
Real special. And just to get into it. I think if we can get into it, we can get through it.
So walk through the doors, Barnes & Noble tomorrow at 3. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.